Caleb from MTG channel down there. We got a short spoiler video for you today. Wizards has only released 4 spoilers so far this afternoon, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be more this evening, so stay tuned. We'll probably have more. But there are at least 2 really exciting cards and a couple others that have people talking, so let's check it out. I want to start with what I think is definitely the best card seen so far today. This is Matter Reshaper, and this has an awful lot of people talking, especially about Collected Company. That is definitely the first thing that comes to mind. This looks like it would go pretty well in a Coco deck, and that's the deck that you don't necessarily have to have an abundance of colorless mana in order to play this card. You can always just Coco it into play. So there's that, you know. But Coco, that one's easy. What else? What else does it does? What else does it does? I do want to point out, first of all, the card just draws cards when it dies. Even if you don't get a 3 mana cost permanent, I want to point that out too. It says permanent, not creature, allowing you to hit like Silk Wrap, Stasis Snare, and the new Nissa. There's a lot of stuff that this hits. So there's that. But even if you get something above 3 CMC, you can just put it in your hand. So the card never blanks. No matter what, it's going to at least draw you the card. And, throw this out there, it's a May ability too. So even if you get a permanent that costs 3 or less, you don't necessarily have to do it. This also, one more thing, hits lands. So that's really good too. And you can put the land into play even if you've already played a land this turn. So there's an awful lot of stuff that's super awesome about this guy. Final verdict, is it playable in Standard though? Which actually, even though I've just given you a litany of things that it does and decks that it goes into, people are still wondering, is it there for Standard play? I don't think it's going to put Collected Company decks over the top. This doesn't necessarily go into 4-color Rally because that's a 4-color deck, and you can make the argument, yeah, Collected Company, just like I did earlier, you can just play this off Coco, or you don't even have to have played it in the first place, just discard it in some way, and then you can rally it back into play. All that makes sense, but I still feel like you're going to have to hardcast the card when you need to, and you really have to have colorless mana sources. We'll see if the deck can make that work. I'm not totally sure. I do feel like in just Eldrazi aggro, this has a pretty interesting home. I do like it in the black-white Eldrazi deck that uses like Silk Wrap, Stasis Snare, and Wasteland Strangler. You know, the first 2 cards so that you can process with Wasteland Strangler. It seems like it fits really well into this, into that deck because it'll hit all 3 of the cards I just mentioned. So I could see it in there. We just talked about Eldrazi aggro a second ago. Here's a good piece for that. This is Reaver Drone right here, and I do think it's the best, you know, Eldrazi 1-drop for aggro that we've seen so far. You know, we've gotten Sludge Crawler, Salvage Drone, Prophet of Distortion, I think it's called. And now we have this, and it's, if you're going full on, just flat out aggro, this is definitely the best 1-drop we've seen for Eldrazi. Definitely a good little budget card. I'm going to be playing with this for a while, but I do hate that it has a downside at all. You know, we're at the point in Magic's history where 2 mana or 1 mana 2/1s shouldn't really have a downside. They hardly ever do. They often have upside. So I kind of hate that. But this definitely is the best thing we have if we just want to smash as much face as possible in the first few turns. Here is Zendikar Resurgent. It looks bad to me. You know, I'm not. This is sort of split the community, but I think it's split him along like Spike Timmy lines. People are saying, why not play this in ramp? I don't like, you know, ramp cards that you have to ramp into. Yeah, I'm just not, I think that's a bad philosophy. For 7 mana, why not just play your Dragon Lord Atarka? It seems much, much better to me. Even if you do play this card as maybe a 1-of in your green-red, you know, Eldrazi ramp deck, then it's still just a little win-more-y to me, you know? You know, play my Ulamog, draw a card, okay. You just played an Ulamog. And the best argument I've seen for this card so far is that once you get to 7 mana, you have to have a way to get to 10 mana. That extra 3 mana is actually a long gap. It's a pretty wide divide to make it to. But honestly, for those purposes, I like Nissa's Renewal a lot better than this card. Helping you get back in the game, you know, all of that. So you help enabling landfall triggers if you have anything that triggers landfall. So I think there's more reasons to play that than this. But yeah, once you play it and you untap with it, it's really good, you know, and I find it hard to imagine that this will have any effect on the board the first turn that you play it, and then you have to wait through their turn, and then you untap, and you have this, you know, I hate cards that don't do anything when they come out, so there's that, but at 7 mana, Atarka totally does awesome stuff when he comes out. 7 mana, your card shit in the game, and this does not. This is Expedite. It's the last card we'll look at, and if you've been watching the spoiler videos, you know that I like to start with something that I'm excited about and end with something that I'm excited about. And this card, like, doesn't look incredible at first glance, but I think it's cool, you know? It's sort of, it's a lot like Crimson Wisps. And Crimson Wisps didn't see too much play. A copy of it doesn't look like too inspiring or anything, but, you know, instant speed, draw a card. We're not in the same format that Wisps was in. So, in this format, we have Surge as a mechanic. I mean, you don't even have to cast this on a guy that came to play this turn. You just enable Surge, draw a card, and start doing things. And that's awesome. People have already talked about Zada. That's also in this format. Although, for Zada decks, you know, you can enable haste on the Zada. That's cool. But I like Defiant Strike right now a lot better than this card for the Zada deck. Although, that card's going to rotate in a couple of months, and this card will keep the deck purely red if that's what you want to do. So, maybe. This format, we also have this card called Ulamog, so that's pretty cool. You can cast your Ulamog and this on your Ulamog the same turn. That's pretty sweet. And there are definitely ways to do it, because a card like this is always good in, say, Reanimator decks, which hopefully we'll see some better, you know, pieces for Reanimator in the upcoming months. But we already have some good cards that can reanimate for like 5 mana. So, I mean, if you're reanimating an Ulamog that you pitched for 5, and then, you know, maybe for an additional mana, putting haste on it seems good. And drawing a card is always awesome too. So, although I don't think this is the thing that like pushes Reanimator over the top or anything. Not at all. They'll just elect to play a hasty creature more than likely. But I go on about Reanimator a lot because it's one of my favorite deck types. And Reanimator has always liked something like this, a very, very cheap haste enabler. And in this case, draws you a card. So there's a lot to like about it, I think. That's all we've got for now. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more spoilers as we go through the day here, but we'll have to see. And this upcoming weekend, apparently the set is supposed to be just completely spoiled. So stick with us because we've got the rest of the spoilers, a deck tech in that time frame. There's going to be the complete set review. Tony's going to join me for that. You guys miss Tony, right? Tony's awesome. And then after that, we're going to do the pre-release primer. There's just so much happening. So sub if you're new, like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. I'm Dev from SBMTG. Thanks for watching, my wizards.
This is my life, call it Chronicles, but you only see half. Monocle, might have to take a little break if the chronic calls, and I'm the best of both worlds, Sonic and Knuckles.